Good day and welcome to you another fantastic edition of 360 Sport. It's another moment to know what's going on in the world of sport as we bring you all the details regards to one special sport that it's not so popular in the part of the world, but it seems that it's gaining momentum every day and every year, and that's talking about American football. My name is Steve Mudashir Shitu. I'll be your anchor on this edition of this wonderful segment with someone who has been doing so much to promote American football. I have a special guest in the house, and we'll go on this quick break. And when we come back, I'll be giving you all you need to know about American football and who the special guest is.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
And wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the go-to app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Yeah, welcome back. This is still 360 Sport. I have Lawrence Ojaide, who is American football expert in the house. He's going to tell us how American football has been gaining momentum for the past 5 years, and the exhibition game that is going to take place this Saturday, and all we'll be discussing as regards to American football today. It's good to have you in the house, Lawrence.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And I'm sure there's so much going on with American football. But let's let viewers know how American football have been accepted in this part of our world.
Well, it's very interesting, and I must say that, you know, everything that has beginning, if the vision is there, I'm sure will definitely arrive somewhere impressive. American football has been in Nigeria for, not many people know, for more than 10 years. But recently it's beginning to gain so much momentum, and this is because of the opportunity the sport has. You know, you can see a lot of people in different other sports spending so many years in the sport, and, you know, they still find it difficult, especially in this part of the world. But, you know, in American football, you could spend maybe a year or two in American football, and if you're good, wow, you just see yourself somewhere you don't expect, you know. So it's a sport with so much opportunities, you know, all over the world, and being the biggest sport in America, you know, a lot of people are trying to actually see this sport also gain momentum in different countries. Well, for Nigeria, I must tell you that acceptance has been something we have really been so much happy about these days, because we see students, because the sport is actually supposed to be like a grassroots sport, you know, because in the world, I think grassroots is supposed to be one of the things that people should be looking at developing. That's for sustainability. And all the schools that we've visited, you know, very few schools that we visited, I would say that the assessments have been so high, participation has been so high. You understand? So the question now will be that on the administrative angle, what are the, you know, the things we're doing, you know, to kind of, you know, bring people up to be able to manage the system, you know, make it proven and strong. And I'll say we've partnered with so many American organizations, you know, and they've been able to, you know, give us that edge and that, you know, partnership to be able to develop administrative-wise, you know, to be able to manage the sport and ensure that the grassroots is actually the primary focus and the sport is sustained. And that's one huge thing. That's what is bringing about the national game that we're having on June 12th, okay. You know, Banikro there. So I think it's going to be very wonderful to see schools participating, students, you know, enthusiasm. You know, it's going to be so high this Saturday.
Talking about acceptance, are you saying there was no initial layback from stakeholders, from the kids, as regards to the sport? Because I know most guardians and parents see American football so challenging, so tough, from the jumping, from the running, and the elbow and all that. Was that a challenge? And what are the other challenges facing the sport in the country?
Okay, talking about challenges and uncertainties from the very inception of when we started propagating the sport in Nigeria, we observed that, you know, especially the sponsors, they looked at it like, okay, and it's normal. They'll look at anything new as, okay, at this point in time, will I lose or will I gain? Because this is something that is new. Not many people know about it, and then I'm going to invest in this thing. So that was a kind of layback on its own.
Okay.
But what we try to do is to ensure that we have individual sponsorship to be able to like do something, make people, because what the sponsors want to see, they want to see a database, they want to see participation, they want to see inclusion, they want to see many more. So, and you know, those things don't build up overnight, and they cannot build up on their own. You know, people need to do these things, and one, the sponsors are laid back to all these things. So we have to take the initiative because we believe in this thing. And being that in the whole world, and then even where the sport is popularly known, like in the US, Nigerians, Africans are the top people in this sport, the richest people in this sport, even in the US. And that's why you see many attentions here in Nigeria right now, trying to see how kids can migrate, you know, from here to there. And we have to take this initiative to ensure that we do on our own what we call individual sponsorship. And I want to really give kudos to Babajide Akeredolu, you know, his governor's son. I mean, he's being the president of the federation has that kind of vision. He has that kind of vision to understand that, you know, things needed to be done one way or the other must be done. You understand? And that is why we've gotten the little sponsorship we've gotten from the individuals in himself as well, to be able to see that the sport, you know, is gaining that momentum that the stakeholders, the sponsors would like to see. And that's why we're having what we're having today.
Before we go to that, your biggest achievement since your entry in the country, what do you list as, I know there are numerous of them, you've done so much exhibition. Before we go into the one that's taking place on Saturday, what's your biggest achievement that's giving you that confidence that this sport is here to stay? Okay,
you see, just like you have FIFA for soccer, we have IFAF for American football. IFAF looked at Nigeria and said, look, this sport is kind of gaining presence in this country, so we need to, like, you know, see what's going on and then see how we can, you know, give our own support and to ensure that the sport is developed in that country. And last year, I think before the COVID, they looked and they made a call to us and then kind of make sure that there's a representative from Nigeria on the IFAF board of competitions around Africa. We also make sure there's a Nigerian there, and that's where my selection came in. I was selected to, you know, represent the country on that. That's an achievement for the nation already. For the nation. Yes, an achievement for the nation on its own. So for competitions anywhere in Africa, I'm a member of that committee. Oh, definitely. You understand? Yeah. Yes, and a Nigerian for that matter. You understand? And so another achievement I would say again is Nigeria played international game against Ivory Coast twice. And won twice.
Which year was that?
That was 2017.
Interesting.
2017. So you can imagine that for international games, we've retained the championship. You understand? No country has come to challenge us. Okay, we want, you know, to challenge the winner of that bowl that was played, you know, twice, home and away. So that's an achievement on its own. And then with all these exhibitions we're doing.
Let me now take your mind back home now. We've seen games that go on trial for the National Sport Festival. We have games like archery, some traditional games. The acceptance, it seems, comes more from the global. When we talk about institution, now we know that when are we going to have a situation whereby American football will be a trial sport at the National Sport Festival, both youth national games and also the national, just like the one that took place in Edo, the National Sport Festival. When would that be acceptance? And also from the ministry, what the ministry on the Sunday Diary saying as regards to your association?
Okay, looking at just a few days ago, well, before a few days ago, I think before we played the exhibition before this exhibition, which was before the COVID, like I think it was March before the COVID, just before a few days before the COVID. The match we played was a national exhibition, which the Lagos State Sports Commission, that's the DG, Gafar.
Gafar, okay.
Yes, Gafar, Tony Gafar, you know, actually looked at American football and said, wow, we would like to have you guys really do something. So, but we want to see how conducted you guys are, you know, how you guys would love to participate in something bigger. So let's see what you can do. And then, but from our contribution was to ensure that we have playing fields, you know, that we can be able to use to showcase the kids. So, given that contribution, we're able to achieve that exhibition at that time, meaning that we can go ahead, according to him, and do much more and get the inclusion into such programs. And then I also met with the director of school sports just a few days ago. That's Oluwasomi, Dr. Oluwasomi for Lagos State. You know, and she was, you know, she was like really driving the idea that, yeah, being a grassroots sport, they would like to see how, you know, we can work together and then achieve more results. You understand? So it means that this coming into schools, for her, she wants to see this, you know, in the schools as an inter-sport kind of game. You understand? And, you know, so what are we looking at, you know, after then? The National Sports Festival and the rest and the likes, you understand? So looking at where we're coming from and where we are now, I mean,
it's a glorious item.
Yes, so we just need the sponsors to come in and key in because the results are great.
Okay, it's interesting that we're having Lawrence in the house and he has been giving us important, you know, the challenges and what American football is. Before we go on this quick break, I would like to you tell our listeners the kind of American football you're talking about now, because I know from you and from what, as a sports writer too, that there's a flag and there's also the tackle. So tell us the difference between this and which one should we be looking forward to on the exhibition before we go on this quick break.
Okay, so we are, you know, as a federation, because I'm the administrator for the federation, and we are promoting the both angle of the sport, the flag side and the tackle side.
Which one generates much interest?
Well, I think for this part of the world, based on the fact that we don't have so much equipment, the flag will pick up faster, while the tackle will come slower. But as we push the flag, we're pushing the tackle, because for flag, you need less equipment. You just need your jersey and the flags in the field. While for the tackle, you need your helmet, you need your shoulder pad, you know, and you also need some other, you know, guards like the thigh pad, the knee pad, just in case you fly and you fall, you bounce up like it's a normal thing, nothing happened. You understand? So we need all of those things, and we have very few in the country right now, except as we are pushing the game, we have, of course, we have plans to bring in more equipment to promote the tackle as high as we're promoting the flag. But flag will prepare anyone who wants to play American football and get the person ready for tackle football. So we'll be expecting the both games to be exhibited on the 12th of June. Come this Saturday.
Yeah, it's, something's taking place June 12th, and that is at the Baptism Academy of Banico. He's going to tell us much about that, because, you know, it's the meltdown of all academies that has to do with American football. Let's go on this quick break. Don't go away. He still has much to tell us about the exhibition games.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you. Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no, you don't need to do this. We are only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you. Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes. Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one? I don't understand. You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Yeah, welcome back. We still have Lawrence in the house. He's the American Football Federation administrator. He's been telling us all we need to know about American football, the challenges, and an exhibition match that he's going to talk about. Before now, I think it's ideal for you to know that we are all on all social media platforms so that the conversation will continue. You can drop your questions and comments on what you observe about the American football and whether you want to join. So much about this is what you can drop on the comment section on all our social media platform. Yes, exhibition match. This is not the first time the Federation is going on an exhibition match. Before you tell us about the one taking place on Saturday, June 12th, tell us what have been the benefits of these exhibition games.
Well, I would say, without mixing word or taking more time so that we can talk about so many other more things, you know. I would like to mention the name. Stephen Ajibola is a Lagos Marines player. That guy should be leaving this country in a few weeks to the US on a scholarship, you know, sports scholarship. You understand? To a school in, I think, Texas.
Okay.
You understand? That's a product of American football, and that's an opportunity for American football, and that's the newest. And there have been many this year before him. But I'm just mentioning him because he's just, you know, the fresh one.
The fresh one, okay.
You understand? Like
the exhibition has brought about many talents that have gone outside the country.
That is going outside, has been going outside the country, and that is still happening. And these people, we kind of have a tie to them to ensure that, you know, as they're getting to that height, they're able to look back to their country and say, yeah, I was able to get this development from my country, and this should be my own participation to my country.
Okay.
You understand? So that kind of tie, it means that what we're trying to do now is to sow in people's life, you understand, young kids' life, so that, you know, tomorrow, you know, our own children, you know, can reap the benefits.
Okay.
You understand?
Much
Planning
more
for the
interesting.
future.
What makes this particular one? It's a national American football national exhibition, if I'm correct, and it's taking place at Obaniko. What makes it interesting? Why it's unique?
It's unique because a school like Baptist Academy, you know, is coming on board, and this is one of the biggest schools that's, you know, coming on board, and being a church school and being a very big school, you know, that have had a good sports record.
Yeah, sports
you
records,
know,
yeah.
taking on American football, and with that kind of enthusiasm from the principal, and also to the kids. Wow, you need to see them. So it's important that you know, an exhibition like this take place on their ground for their kids, for the world to see, even for their old boys to understand that, no, come on, there's so much future in that school. And we use this to kind of make other schools see why they should not be left out.
I'm putting myself as watching this program. A question would have come to my mind, and that would be, what's the age bracket for these kids? You keep saying the kids. Is the age bracket? Who's supplying the kits for them, and all that? Tell us the age brackets about.
Okay, so for American football, you know, the flag side. Let me just say, even the tackle football. For the developed nations like America, you know, they even have leagues for 3-year-olds. For us, you know, as small as 3-year-olds, you know, you would see that their 3-year-olds, you know, kind of have good kind of, you know, yeah, frame. So, but at least for as low as 3 years old, they started playing. But for us here in Nigeria, we looked at it, okay, like, we'll start our kids from like 5 years old.
Okay.
So from 5 years old down to any age, you can play American football. So no matter how old you are, even if you are above 30, you can still play American football and do very well in it. You know, so looking at grassroots development, we have so much focus right now on anything from 5 years old with the primary school to secondary school, the university kids, because you can use this to better your life if you are good as a player.
Okay, interesting. I'm sure. So there's not fear if you are age 3 above, and the supply of kids, that's as in, who's going to give the...
Yeah, so
is it purely flag or both?
No, both, of course. So for the kids, like I said, we have few equipment for tackle, for tackle football. For flag football,
doesn't need so much.
We have all the provisions for flag football. You understand? But for opportunities like scholarship opportunities, that's where we ensure that kids are playing tackle football, because that's where the scholarship comes from. That's the gold mine. It's the gold mine, because from there it's straight to NFL. And anything that brings you to the NFL, wow. In fact, you and your 10 and 20 generations to come are going to be completely, happy and okay.
If you properly manage that.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Let's not also forget more questions. So you could throw in your questions. I hope I can get some of your questions so that we'll ask him. But I know obviously that you only mentioned Baptist Academy. What other schools?
We have New Hall College in Chevron, Lekki. We also have started with Green Spring, but based on the COVID-19 regulations, we are slow in kicking off with them. We also have the Netherlands International School, which is on Water Carrington. That's where you have all the embassies.
Our TV station is compliance, COVID-19 compliance, and that's why you could see the space, even regardless to the fact that there's not been so much going on as well. How do you tend to make sure the kids comply with COVID-19 instructions, and since it's going to be a contact sport, or what are you doing in place of that? The washing of hands and all that. What's
it's been a culture for us, and that's what we'll always maintain. Make sure that there's COVID-19 compliance before you get on the field, and even while you're leaving the field, there are regulations to ensure that all this happen. And also looking at that date, which is June 12th, we understand that there's going to be it's Democracy Day.
Yes, Democracy
It's Democracy Day, so we don't know what will be happening, how it will be happening.
There's not going to be shift of time of dates.
We're not proposing to shift dates. We're actually looking at how we can manage the security situation. So we're looking at ensuring that people come in on time and then leave on time, and also ensure that we have adequate information as to what's happening around us, so that we can be able to manage the movement of people coming in and then going out. And then before I forget, there's also a school, JPTS, is a university. So among all the universities that are participating in American football presently, we have the Michael and Cecilia Hebrew University. We also have the Redeemers University, and then we also have JPTS. JPTS is an Nigerian-American school, which you can find, of course, online. And then this JPTS is actually one of those that are going to exhibit, because they are one of the new schools on board. And the president of the school is so supportive to youth development, especially when it comes to grassroots. So we want to really appreciate that. Of course, if we have more schools going on American football, we will have more of our talent out there in the developed world, trying to develop themselves and coming back to their country to give back. So we're trying to change the culture, as it were.
Beyond that, what do you tend to achieve if they all come, they show exhibition, they learn so much, there's so much of talent, there's so much of awareness about the sport, you understand? What do you then learn about it, in the sense that we're going to make sure that everything goes on as proper? What do you then to achieve afterwards?
Yeah, I think the major thing we're looking at, which I have actually said, is to see that
after the exhibition.
Yes, after the exhibition, we want to see that there are many more schools that are going to, instead of us reaching out to them, they'll be able to reach out to us and say, yes, this is what we've been looking at. And then any school we probably visit, to understand that, okay, it is an opportunity for them, that we have brought to them, so they key in without any hiccups.
That's this is all we could take on this edition of 360 Sport. A big thank you to you, Lawrence, for being part of this.
It's a pleasure.
And I'm sure 360 Sport will definitely give that support on that day, as we bring those kids that are unable to be part of it on June 12 at Baptist Academy Obaniko, to tell you much more about that event. Thank you very much for being part of today's program. Sometime next week, we'll be telling you all we need to know in the world of sport. And like I do say at the end of every program, enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.